expect.
We know that the Soviets built small, what they call atomic demolition munitions.
Vladimir Putin has often warned that he will use all means at Russia's disposal. Could there be a secret weapon in Russia's arsenal that has never been officially acknowledged? A suitcase nuke is a tactical nuclear weapon which uses or is portable enough to use a suitcase as its delivery method. While the devastation caused by a suitcase nuke would be limited compared to a conventional nuclear device, its value lies in the ease with which it can be smuggled across borders.
The difference with this kind of a device is you don't put it on the tip of a missile. You sneak it in and it can be camouflaged as a rock, it can be carried as a suitcase, or it could be as small as the briefcase I have here.
The controversy around Russia's suitcase nukes erupted in 1997. The man who triggered it was former Secretary of the Russian Security Council, Alexander Lebed. In a closed-door meeting with the US congressional delegation in May 1997, Lebed claimed he believed that a large number of Russian bombs were missing. More than 84, in fact, of the 1-kiloton bombs manufactured during the Cold War. Lebed said, and I quote, "I'm saying that more than 100 weapons out of the supposed number of 250 are not under the control of the armed forces of Russia. I don't know their location. I don't know whether they've been destroyed or whether they are stored or whether they've been sold or stolen." Unquote. Lebed claimed these devices were made to look like suitcases and could be detonated by one person within half an hour. He added that the bombs, measuring 16 to 14 to 20 centimeters, former Soviet official who defected to the US in 1992, added another sensational angle to the suitcase nuke's mystery. He claimed that the small, man-portable nuclear devices may have already been pre-positioned in NATO countries, including the United States, during the Cold War. Lunev added that the number of missing nuclear devices is almost identical to the number of strategic targets upon which the bombs would be used. A former Republican member of the US House of Representatives, Kurt Weldon, claims the then Russian defense minister had admitted that Moscow had in fact built these devices.
I had a face-to-face meeting with the Russian defense minister in his office in Moscow. His name was Marshal Sergeyev. I said, "Then you have to help me. I need to know the truth." Lebed told me last May that he couldn't account for 80 devices. Your foreign ministry has said you never built these devices. So, General Sergeyev, I need to know the truth. Did you build them or not? In December of that year, Marshal Sergeyev looked me in the eye and said, "Yes, Congressman, we did build these devices."
Developing news coming out today, December the 16th, 2024, on the drone situation, as there are a lot of updates. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you two lists. The first is going to be all of the confirmed sightings of drones around the nation. I'm going to be sharing with you every location that has been confirmed, and also a second list. And this is going to be the FBI's watch list that came out in 2023 for sleeper cell attacks here on U.S. soil. Now, I'm going to be comparing these two lists side by side, letting you know all of the various locations. Now, the reason for this being is because, as you will recall, what has come out in the last 48 hours roughly is that we are now hearing that the mysterious New Jersey drones, they are hunting a nuclear bomb. As Veteran warns, it is out there. Now, again, just to clarify, this is the latest theory that a lot of people are saying makes a whole lot of sense. Let me know your thoughts. John Ferguson, a military veteran with over 25 years of experience in the drone technology field, said that the only reason for such a mass use of drones is one area. In this one area is they are looking for something. Also, headlines, military contractor fears New Jersey drones, they are searching for a nuclear warhead. UAV specialist John Ferguson says that he knows of at least one lost nuke that could have been smuggled into the United States. And this comes as I shared with you that it was being leaked out that they're saying that they believe that these drones are our own military. They are not foreign drones. We keep hearing this. They're not aliens. We're hearing they believe that it is our own military, our government, attempting to intercept.
W7 here, checking back in with you.
and I'd say that it's just about game time here. I suggest that people take this stuff serious. We've talked about what could potentially happen here for a lot of years, but it looks like some critical stuff's going down. If you don't know, we have an incident that just took place outside of Fort Liberty, former Fort Bragg in North Carolina, where we have 2 illegal migrants that were spying on a Special Forces colonel, snapping photos of his family and his kids, and he caught them. There was a confrontation. He shot and killed one of them. And this is a big deal because other colonels, other people are going on like Fox News, and they're saying that this is a huge threat. They're in here, they're spying on our top level generals at their homes here in this country, and now they've been engaged. They go on to say that here in this country, these illegal migrants are showing up at our military facilities 2 to 3 times a week. A week. That brazen. Well, everyone's just ignoring it, right? 2 or 3 times a week they're showing up at our military bases and they're getting turned away. Now, the ones that are showing up at the bases are showing up acting like they're trying to document for some kind of whatever excuse they give. They do have passports, the ones that show up there, and they seem to be the forward unit of this invasion. Of course, we know there's millions in here at this point. They are also stating that they are rolling up on our bases with drones 2 to 3 times a week. Incursions. So our bases are getting infiltrated by drones, and these dudes are rolling up on them in packs. And they're rolling up on our colonels at their homes, spying on them. Hello? How much more are people waiting for? What are you waiting for? Them to show up at your house? Taking pictures? Like, dude, you better get ready. You better get it all ready, locked and loaded, everything that you've got. You better get with your neighbors. You better get plans together. They're here. Enemy's here. It's because they've been sold out. They brought them here. So you better get to training. You better be taking your extra time, your extra money. You better get ready. This ain't no joke. They're here. Just like they rolled in the Trojan horse. And at night, they sprung. It's like they're waiting for their moment. And once it begins, there ain't no going back. This country will never be the same. You better get ready. I'm warning you. I'm warning you, I'm warning you, I'm warning you. It's that time. So, y'all better be prepping, full scale. You better be training. You better be training. You better be getting with your people. You better be doing everything it takes right now while you got the time. Before time's up. We got a big event coming. And as soon as a series of events goes into motion, it's like dominoes, one after another, and it won't stop. So,
Joe Biden and the Democrats have presided over a criminal invasion of the United States of America. We are facing the worst illegal immigration our nation has ever seen. 11 million illegal immigrants have come in, invited by the Democrats. When Joe Biden came into office, he inherited the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. All he had to do was nothing. Just sit there and stare at the wall. But instead, he deliberately broke the system. This chart on the right shows when Biden came into office, you had historic lows. The instant he was sworn in, the numbers skyrocketed. It went from the lowest rate in 45 years to today, the highest rate in the history of our nation. This is deliberate.
Packs of Chinese males of military age, unattached to family groups, pretending not to speak English. These are probably saboteurs who are coming in on the first day of war with Asia. In Asia, I think that we're going to see acts of sabotage, assassinations, detonation of bombs, starting wildfires.
Agents seeing a significant increase in migrants that have made a difficult and costly journey here to the U.S., all the way from China. Correspondent Jorge Ventura is live in El Dago, Texas. So Jorge, what are we learning?
Hey, Nicole, I'm in the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. And in this sector alone, Border Patrol right now is apprehending Chinese nationals at record numbers. Now, compared to last year, they're already seeing a 900% spike in Chinese national apprehensions. The reason why that's so significant is because Chinese nationals are a viable commodity to the cartels. They're willing to pay up to $35,000 to be smuggled into the U.S., $35,000 to be smuggled into the U.S., and it's creating a unique challenge for U.S. Border Patrol. Behind the wall on the U.S.-Mexico border,
are they hugging the ditch area?
Is the Texas Department of Public Safety, working in partnership with the Border Patrol to stem the flow of illegal migrants crossing into the U.S. We spent time with the Texas DPS brush teams to get a first-hand account of the issues they face every day.
They're dealing with the uptick in Chinese nationals, especially in the Rio Grande Valley sector, which is unusual. Before, we would never see this many Chinese nationals coming across this area here.
The numbers back up Lieutenant Olivares. In the first 5 months of the 2023 fiscal year, there have been 4,366 encounters with Chinese nationals at the southwest border, with 1,368 in the month of February alone.
All of them are from China, as they are migrating into the north borders of the United States. Venezuela, China, 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 Venezuela, Venezuela, China. Where are you going? United States? United States, USA? Where are you going? USA. USA. China. Yes, from China. Well, you're going to the United States. USA. 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 America, New York. America, New York. Yes. Yes. Xi Jinping. No. No. Okay. USA. China. 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 Nepal. China. 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 China, 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 okay, China, 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 and China. Wow, all Chinese. You go China. Okay. China, China, USA. Going to the USA. Estados Unidos.
Chinese nationals surrendering. As you guys can see, these are all men here. 91% of the Chinese nationals coming are
in the last year, and dangerous cartels are playing a major role in trying to get them into the U.S. Correspondent Griff Jenkins is in Mission, Texas.
What's your name?
Hello, do you speak English? A daily occurrence that officials say is only getting worse. Are you from China? Fox News is encountering Chinese nationals being smuggled across our southern border. They arrive in small groups. They'd even walked into our live shot when we were on the air. RGV Border Patrol Chief Gloria Chavez says the sector is seeing a 920% increase.
Share with you here information and footage showing this 900% increase of Chinese nationals entering into the United States illegally.
back out here in the field working on our story on the Chinese nationals that are being apprehended in this sector. Actually, right behind us, we have 5 Chinese nationals, all men. 91% of the Chinese nationals being apprehended in this sector are single adults. So we're working on the story, and it's pretty alarming. I've been covering the border the last couple of years, but it's really alarming to see the amount of Chinese nationals that we're seeing here in this sector.
And you can see here in this footage by the busloads.
On the southern border where there is a lot happening. Bill, what's the very latest from there?
Well, Sandra, it's been exactly 2 years since we saw thousands of Haitians gather under the bridge in Del Rio, Texas. Now we've got thousands of predominantly Venezuelans gathering under the bridge here in Eagle Pass, Texas, after we just witnessed a massive illegal crossing this morning. Let's go right to our drone video we shot as we first started witnessing this taking place. An enormous line of migrants crossing illegally here into Eagle Pass this morning, predominantly Venezuelans. We were talking to them as they were crossing illegally from Piedras Negras, Mexico, directly into Texas with little to no resistance. Our producer talking to several of them as they came in. They said they arrived on a train in northern Mexico this morning. They walked down to the border and then just got in the water and crossed illegally into Texas. It has been a complete free-for-all out here in Eagle Pass this morning. We have not seen images like this since Del Rio 2 years ago when I was out there with those 15,000 Haitians. Border Patrol sources telling us several thousand illegal immigrants have crossed here in Eagle Pass this morning. Take a look at the second piece of video we were shooting from the ground as these people started streaming into the country. They are predominantly single adult men filing into the country. A lot of them waving to our cameras, chanting Venezuela. You can from taking place. It was non-stop for 2 hours, guys. These images you're looking at right now, this wasn't just a 5 or 10 minute window. This went on for 2 hours straight. We're talking thousands of people filing in, and you can see they're gathering under the bridge because Border Patrol doesn't have enough manpower or buses to get them out.
It's closed down for American citizens going into Mexico, and it's closed down for Mexican citizens coming into America. This is only being used for CBP-1, illegal entry into America. Now, that's salt in the wound. The real threat was what I saw yesterday, and I want to play some of this footage. I went back to Lukeville, Arizona. And what I saw should shock every single American. As soon as I got there, there was a tent of 150 fighting age men, mostly from West Africa, Muslim countries in Africa, the Middle East, and India. And what they told me is that they actually, the new place that they were getting all of these people from, right here, you can see it right there on the screen. Those tents, that was yesterday, and this is happening every single day. 150 of them. They said they had over 500 yesterday alone in that one location. 500. And what scared me, and I went up, the Border Patrol, you could tell, was so frustrated. They wanted me to get in there and film it and show you close up. As soon as I did that, at the end of this video, I had a guy come out from National Park, said I couldn't be that close. I couldn't film this. I had to go across the street and our own national park, our national monument down there. This is what's coming into America. But the scariest part, Border Patrol came up to me and he said, you need to know and you need to report this. We're getting huge numbers from Syria right now. And if we can show the picture, they sent me a picture of the guys from Syria. If we can show that picture of...
So who gets an AK-47 tattooed on their forearms? Somebody who likes firearms. And that's someone illegal coming here. These are cell groups, sleeper cell groups that are going to wake up and attack Americans. I'm telling you. And who's bringing these people here? Who's paying for it?
Hezbollah's coming across. You got Benson reporting. The Chinese Communist Party, I've heard from intelligence sources, not totally confirmed, 100,000 fighting age men over the last year and a half, 2 years.
Right? When you have 2+ million people coming in, 100,000 isn't that big of a number, right? Do the math. And when you have America's enemies combining together, Syria, the mullahs, as you said, KGB, the CCP, and other terrorist organizations, along with the Mexican drug cartels, who are hosting them at the southern border, of course they're coming in because they are reaching one common goal: destruction of the United States of America.
All right, we got more military age men showing up in New York City. Is Joe Biden got some plans for these guys as the world's homeless and some of them coming out of the penitentiaries around the world are coming to New York? Military male, military male, military age 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 male. What? More and more military age males are in New York City. Where are they coming from? It's going to happen in our country as we let in more and more people that have told me that they hate America and they can't stand Americans. What is going on here? The Democrats, you are betrayers. Military age man, military age male, military age male, military age male, another military age male. I told you last September, these are military age males. What is going on in this country? As Illinois has Bill 3571 to allow non-citizens to become police officers. It passed. It's on the governor's desk. So in the future, you can get arrested by a non-citizen or he can use deadly force against you. That's what's going on in America. You need to wake up. Wake up. ¿A qué estado te irías? Oregon, ¿tú? Chicago, ¿tú? Chicago, ¿tú? ¿Tú? Chicago, ¿tú? ¿Tú? Chicago, ¿tú? 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 Chicago, Chicago, ¿tú? ¿Tú? Chicago, ¿tú? 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 Denver, ¿tú? ¿Tú? Chicago también, ¿tú? Chicago, Chicago, ¿tú? Chicago también, ¿tú? Chicago, Chicago, ¿tú? Chicago, Nueva York. Carolina del Norte, Nueva York, ¿tú? Nueva York, New York, Chicago, Chicago, ¿tú? Denver, Detroit, Miami, este es el único que salió vivo, ¿tú? Indiana, ¿tú? 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 Dallas también, Dallas, ¿tú? Chicago, Dallas, Texas, Arizona, ¿dónde vas? Denver, Cincinnati, órale, Atlanta, Dallas, Chicago.
Now today, President Biden and the Democrats have a press conference, and here's what they're announcing. He could have stopped this every single day of his presidency. When he signs this executive order, the only question anyone should ask is, why didn't you do this in 2021? Why didn't you do this in 2022? Why didn't you do this in 2023? Why didn't you do this last month or the month before or the month before? How many dead bodies is enough? You want to understand the consequences? Take a look. 2 police officers in New York who were shot this week by an illegal alien that Joe Biden and the Democrats released. The assailant, Bernardo Raul Castro Mata. It's a name really out of Charles Dickens. Mata is Spanish for he kills. His middle name is a communist murdering dictator. And what happened? He came illegally from Venezuela. He came to John and my home state of Texas. He came to Eagle Pass. We had him apprehended. And what did he do? He did what Joe Biden and the Democrats have done for 3.5 years. He let him go. And Mr. Mata went to New York City and shot 2 New York cops this week. That's happening every single week. We have not had a week go by when someone is not shot, someone is not murdered, a child is not raped by an illegal immigrant released by Joe Biden and the Democrats. Now, understand what is going on here. This is election year politics. And by the way, we've seen this game before. Apparently the Democrats have one playbook, which is create a crisis, and then a couple of months before the election, do something very mild to address the crisis and say, see, problem solved. We saw this with gas prices. Right before the last election, gas prices had doubled. People were hurting. And what did he do? Right before the election, he releases oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Gas prices fell a little bit, and they victory lap that they've reduced gas prices a tiny bit from the massive historic highs.
I think by the way, the cooperation with the outgoing president and the incoming president, the illegal crossing things are down considerably to what they were back when he was in office. There's a lot more to do.
We also saw this on student loans. Last election, right before the election, what does Joe Biden do? He says, I'm giving away $1 trillion to young people. By the way, young people, come vote for Democrats now. Now, he knew he was lying to them. He knew what he was doing was illegal. He knew the Supreme Court would strike it down, and of course it did. This is the same game. What they are announcing is they're going to issue an executive order that normalizes illegal immigration at 4,000 people a day. 4,000 people a day is 1.5 million a year. And understand on this chart, I'm actually going to pull this chart over here because what they're doing is unusually cynical. He came in here, the numbers skyrocketed here, so we're right here. He's proposing to lower it to right here, to lower it just a bit, and then to play the same game he played on gas prices, say, look at the great victory. And by the way, if God forbid Joe Biden is reelected, the number will go from 120 back up to here, because this is what they want. The Democrats want that criminal invasion. And the police officers being shot, the young women being murdered, the children being raped, they're unwilling to stand up and protect them. It's immoral, it's wrong, and what the White House is doing today is they're just playing a political game. The Democrats' border legislation was terrible. The Democrats' border legislation that Chuck Schumer put forward was actually designed, it was the same thing as this executive order. It was political camouflage. Understand what this Democrat legislation did. It would have codified, it would have put into federal law Joe Biden's catch and release. The practice when they apprehend an illegal immigrant, they let him go. By the way, it means Mr. Mata, who just shot 2 police officers, under the Democrat legislation, he would have been released. He would have been in New York. He would have shot those 2 cops. It puts into law that illegal immigrants, when they're released, automatically get a work permit. So it ends up benefiting illegal immigrants and attracting even more. It puts into law that many illegal immigrants get a taxpayer-funded attorney. Not only that, that legislation also put into law billions of dollars for the NGOs that are actively facilitating the criminal invasion of this country, working with the cartels. And on top of that, it normalized 5,000 illegal immigrants a day. That is 1.8 million a year. And Chuck Schumer's fake immigration bill would have had 1.8 million illegal immigrants every year in perpetuity forever. Schumer at the outset said he was not willing to secure the border. He was not willing to agree to anything that actually secured the border. And the entire purpose of that bill was so Democrats could do. Look, Joe Biden is going to claim, gosh, we had the Schumer bill, but mean President Trump didn't like it. And so that's why the criminal invasion happened. Except if you look at the chart, the criminal invasion didn't happen 2 months ago. It happened in January 2021. What happened in January 2021? Joe Biden put his hand on the Bible and lied to the American people when he said he would faithfully execute the laws of this country. He hasn't done that.
Communities, Asian communities, Hispanic communities, and the wave still continues. It's not going to stop, nor should we want it to stop. As a matter of fact, it's one of the things I think we can be most proud of. So there's a second thing in that black box, an unrelenting stream of immigration, non-stop. Folks like me who were Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America, from then and on, will be white European stock. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.